Before we dig into what the Incident Command System is, let's take a quick look at a little history to get an understanding of why we even have it. Emergency management is a long-time profession. You just might not know it. Emergency management first began as what we know today to be the civil defense era. In the 1950s, we, as a nation, were preparing for nuclear war, and this drove nationwide efforts to include handouts, drills, education, self and family preparedness, and campaigns. Even the logo from the civil defense era has influenced the emergency management SEALs used today. You can see the civil defense triangle in many of them, including ours. When we move forward in time to the 1970s, there's a strong movement in the fire community to enhance the way they respond to wildland fires. In 1968, fire agencies in Southern California began to frame a concept to organize for these events known as the Incident Command System. They started to discuss patterning a system after the management hierarchy of the United States Navy. A short 2 years after that, the Laguna Hills fire breaks out in Southern California and stresses the fire response system and their ability to bring responders together from multiple jurisdictions to work on one incident. After the fire is over, the firefighting resources of Southern California organized for potential emergencies, or fire scope, is formed to review the incident and provide recommendations to make the next one better. By 1972, FireScope has fully developed the Incident Command System and begins testing it to provide uniform procedures for on-site command and control of operations in emergency situations. Shortly after, ICS is adopted nationwide for fire response. As we move forward into 1980s, 1979, the Federal Emergency Management Agency is created. And from 1979 to 2001, FEMA works as one agency to organize emergency management, which was formerly done by a number of different federal departments. The early 90s began with a terrible fire in the Bay Area, commonly referred to now as the Oakland Hills Fire. As a result of that fire, Senator Petrus's office implemented Senate Bill 1841, which charged the State Emergency Management Agency to create a standardized system throughout the entire state for managing large emergencies and disasters. We now refer to it as the Standardized Emergency Management System, or SEMS. SEMS organizes the state into different levels of responsibility and requires that the concepts of the Incident Command System be used at every level. Following the September 11th attacks on the World Trade Center, two things happened. FEMA was absorbed into the Department of Homeland Security, and federal-level presidential directives are issued to create a system to guide activities that will enable the nation to achieve preparedness goals. As a result, the National Incident Management System, or NIMS, is born and patterned after California SEMS. NIMS also requires the use of ICS to manage incidents. As time goes on, various changes in population, new emergencies and disasters, changing technologies, and new state and federal legislation are constantly changing the face of emergency management in California. During the drought, we've seen new applications of the California Disaster Assistance Act. Flooding has caused new levee threat assessment procedures. Earthquakes have driven building code redevelopment for earthquake retrofitting, and the most recent wildfires are spurring changes to alert and warning and evacuation procedures. As emergencies and disasters continue, emergency management will always change throughout time to build off things that worked well and create new strategies for things that can be improved.